New details are emerging about the murder of a well-known sex and family therapist by the name of Amie Harwick. She was killed at her home in the Hollywood Hills over the weekend. She's also Drew Carey's ex-fiancé. The two parted ways back in November of 2018, but he has recently posted a photo of her talking about how big she loved, and they are halting all tapings of Price is Right this week as he mourns. So police say Gareth Pursehouse murdered his former girlfriend by pushing her off her third-story balcony. So she had a restraining order against him until 2 weeks ago when it expired. And friends are saying he was a stalker when they broke up. He didn't take it well. He'd do stupid stuff, say stupid stuff. You tell him, dude, move on, leave her alone, and he wouldn't. So she was found on the ground beneath her third-story balcony with injuries consistent with the fall. And when they went into the house, it looked like there had been forced entry, and there had been a struggle. He is arrested and being held on $2 million bail.
Crazy story, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the guy must have known when the restraining order was up, and in his crazy head went in after her, man.
They know exactly when it's up. When they get the restraining order, the judge will be like, okay, 2 years. You know, like they know exactly. And that I had a restraining order against a guy once, and he literally came into my job at 12:01. On the day it expired, like just to scare the hell out of me. Yeah, and my managers were like, "Get out!" And he's like, "I'm legally allowed to be here now. She can't do anything about it."
So scary.
It's just a piece of paper. It's terrifying.
Now, Shepherd's Door Domestic Violence Resource Center says the system to protect victims is broken. That a lot of these guys aren't threatened by the piece of paper. They will play the system. They will wait until they have their opportunity, and then they'll do whatever they feel they need to do to seek revenge.
This story was like 6 hours old, and Wendy Williams is on her show making jokes about it yesterday.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh.
Not surprised.
Yeah.
What kind of joke do you make about this?
She was talking about her falling off the balcony and then said, "Come on down."
Once the cops got there, she was down there dead on the ground. Yep, was pushed off of a third-floor balcony. She was killed not by Drew, but by the ex. Come on down.
And then she you have to see her head motion also, like she's watching somebody drop off of the balcony.
Is that what the silence was?
Uh-huh.
I'm sure she'll issue an apology for this, like everything else tomorrow.
Like, at what point are we done? I know, like, we say cancel culture has gotten to, like, it's extreme and people get canceled, like, too quickly. I'm ready to cancel Wendy Williams.
You know what I was thinking with her? Because this is only, I mean, she's always sort of been controversial, but consistently, like the last couple of weeks, I have a theory here, and it might be judgmental, but you know she was going through all that crap, right? She's kicked out of the house, was living in like a homeless shelter, right? Mm-hmm. Is it possible that she is on meds right now that are numbing her to what is acceptable and what is not?
The filter's gone,
The filter is gone?
I don't think so.
Those jokes, I don't know that those are improvised. She has writers. Like, they have writers. They talk about things before she goes out and says these things. So I'm like, I don't know if every single word of that is on the teleprompter, but like these are poor form jokes. That's just like, that's who she is at her heart.
When Wendy was on radio 20 years ago, she was the same way.
Doing the same thing,
yeah.
Just making shock value jokes as soon as they happen.
And it's almost like the sad thing is you'd want to cancel somebody for saying one thing that's bad, but I think it's almost as if she has an advantage because she does it so often that you kind of just say whatever.
And there's some comedians that make that their thing. I mean, everybody canceled Dane Cook because he made a joke about the shooting in Colorado. Everybody canceled Gilbert Gottfried because he made a joke about the tsunami in Japan. And like Wendy Williams is just one of those people where like I'm going to bring up things that make people really sad and make them uncomfortable, and I'm going to assume that's what comedy is.
But maybe Mo's right. Maybe the consistency of it is what gives her the pass because she's been so offensive for so long that this really shouldn't be shocking, yet it still is every time.
But if it's a pass, yeah, I mean, everybody's calling her out, and she's having to issue apologies every time she does it because she gets so much heat. So I don't think there's a pass there.
Every time she issues an apology, all she's thinking, and all of her producers are thinking is, that's great publicity.
Yep.
The Bert Show.